What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I did watch the State of Play yesterday. And I'm glad I didn't do a video yesterday. I was thinking about doing a video yesterday, like right after I saw it. First impressions, fresh impressions. But I do tend to like to sit on what I've seen, digest it a little bit, analyze it a little bit, and also see what the community is saying. Now, I didn't really look at too many Xbox fanboys takes. I mean, I heard a few, but I did watch Dirt Griggity's video he put out, I believe today. And he put in a bunch of clips of a bunch of ponies and donkey unicorns and their reactions. And let's just say that was priceless. Woo! Man, let me tell you. Man, from Dreamcast. Hi guys, this is Dreamcast Guy here with another video. Him and freaking MBG, that's it. Was it Marlon Game? I don't think it was Marlon Game. It was another dude. I forgot his name. It's a whole bunch of... Man, I haven't heard Porter Rock's take on it yet, but let me tell you my take. So I'm gonna do this. The most important and the least important. The least important, that's not true. But the most disappointing, I don't even want to say that. Well, kind of, sort of. So let's talk about Concord real quick. Okay, so here's my thing, right? We saw Concord. Like I was like, yo, Concord. They were playing the CG and stuff. I was like, okay, this is. I don't know what this is, but it's a kind of a little movie, a vignette that Quiggle Bottoms or whatever the heck his name was called, Quiggle Smack. It was a Q in there and like a pow or something. Anyway, he's and so I was like, okay. I didn't like the voice of the yellow lizard dude. I didn't like him. His voice is the only problem I had with it, and the fact that it was really just like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like other people said it too, but it's like, okay, let's get a big guy, tank. Let's get the regular guy, yellow dude. Let's get the leader, Asian girl. Let's get robot, another tank. Who else was in it? It was another guy that they didn't even really have in. But I mean, there's more characters obviously. But anyway, and the character design wasn't bad, but the CG animated vignette was interesting. It was cute, let's just say that. And then they showed the gameplay, and I was like, oh boy. I was like, wow, y'all totally missed the point. They were trying to do Overwatch, but what they failed to realize and what they did wrong, this is what they did wrong. They made the CG look too good. And then when you go to the game, it's like, what is this PS4 game I'm playing? What is this crap? And you see like the animations now, it's like, Like if you look at Overwatch, right? You look at the CG animations, the characters and all that stuff. You're like, oh man, I like that. It's kind of like Pixar. And then you look at the actual characters in game, they look exactly the same. I mean, they're gamified, but they look exactly, maybe a little bit lower poly and stuff, obviously. But they look exactly the same. I was like, in game. I'm not talking about like in the menu, like, I've gotten. Yeah, Concord. I was like, look, y'all should probably go back to the Jiggly hamburger and play some more of that, because what y'all showed gameplay wise, nope. I was like, why would anyone play this over Overwatch 2? Why? And all the other games that are out already. I don't know how many hero shooters are out, but Overwatch is the king of the hero shooter, let's be real. And this is the dumber part. I don't know who put this showcase together, but whose bright idea, who thought it was a good idea to put Concord and Marvel's, whatever that the Marvel one is called, in the same showcase? Because everybody's going to be like, what was that for? Who cares? I'm going to be Magneto zippy zapping people. The Marvel one, everybody's going to play that. nobody's going to play Concord. Just like everybody's going to play the Marvel one and say, that's all right. Or I'm going to play this instead of Overwatch, or go back to Overwatch. No one's going to choose Concord over Marvel or Overwatch. They'll play it. They'll try it out. It's DOA. Come on, son. I was like vaguely interested in the CG type of, they have characters. And then they showed the gameplay. I was like, I don't care. I really, I'm just talking about from a hero shooter standpoint. I was like, I don't know how this is supposed to be alluring. How? Explain it to me, because I don't know. But yeah, Concord was a big flippity flop. It wasn't a flippity flop. It was just a regular flop. Mega flop? Yeah, it was mega flop. I didn't hear anybody talking about it like, oh my gosh, Concord is so cool. MBG was like, why did they buy this studio? I was like, because they don't know what they're doing. And they want some multiplayer gamies. They want to make that multiplayer bread. They want to make that games of service bread. And they're throwing everything at the wall. Ain't nothing sticking. Ain't nothing. Here's my thing, right? They show us Concord. This was better than the Last of Us game that they were trying to push. I'm like, they should have put out factions. They should have, if they're putting this out, they should have put out factions. Come on, son. At least that has a following. They know. I mean, it may be small or whatever, but it has a history. People are like, and they can figure out a way to try to monetize it or something. But, you just y'all got to use the other part of your brains, not the lizard part, not the part where you're trying to scrape up all the coins. The part where you say, okay, we want to monetize it, but we want to make it so that it's not predatory for our customers. Use that part of your brain. I don't think they have the ability. Not yet. Anyway, moving on. Concord was going whack. God of War PC, whatever. Look, I'm not going through all of them because it's like blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's a Souls-like. Oh, it's a Souls-like. Oh, it's a anime waifu game with taking pictures of fuzzy, fluffy, and I don't even know what that was. And then the Monster Hunter Wilds, that looked all right. I was like, okay, that's probably going to do good. And then the best part was the last, say the best for last, Astrobot. Astrobot. Okay, before we talk about Astrobot, everything else was not exclusive. Let that sink in a little bit, right? Everything in that showcase, except for Astrobot, and that Astrobot is only a time exclusive, obviously, but everything in that showcase, everything is on other things besides PlayStation and PlayStation VR 2. Everything. Some of that stuff's on Xbox. It's multi-plat. Well, there needs to be another name for it now because they're considering PC and console multi-plat, so it should be super multi-plat, multi-plat plus. I don't know. I'm gonna call it super multi-plat. There you go. Mega multi-plat. That's more alliteration. Anyway, everything, all the Souls-like, which some of them look okay. Some were cell phone games. I'm like, what's going on here? And the reactions, the reactions to all the ponies and the doggy unicorns. That shout out to Dirt Griggity. Dirt did his duck this, so he put all those clips together. I was like, yo, so I didn't have to go through. I mean, I'll probably look through and see what people are saying. I want to see what Colin. I want to see what the last man's standings. I want to see what they got to say, because I haven't heard anybody say anything positive. The most positive I heard was Dreamcast guy, and he was like, disappointing. That was the most positive. And I'm like, everybody's rating it. I think Keeley did his poll after he does all the, all the shows, all the little shows. Like, oh yeah, well, what'd you guys rate it? Everybody's like, D and under. Most rated D and under. I was like, damn, a little rough. Yeah, man. I'm like, look, I like Xbox. Sony is whatever. They're finding out. They effed around and now they're finding out. When you're a certain way to your customer base and you ain't treating them right for years, you're gonna expect some stuff going. And the funny thing is that the loyal customer base that they're upsetting will will and would have still gone for any of the abuse and the abusive and the predatory practices that they have been doing all this generation. They're down for it. I'll pay $100 for a game. Oh, let's support the devs and all, all the stuff that they tell themselves that are, support Sony. They're the winners. Yay. That don't play on PC. PC gamers like, sign up for what? Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to wait. Because while we wait, there going to be some modders. Can make a female Kratos, put some big boobies on it and stuff, and let's go. Big booty Kratos, let's go. Kratisha. That's going to be her name, Kratisha. And so Kratisha, the female version of Kratos, she'll have a daughter instead of a son named Atreisha. And and the husband died instead of the wife, or it could be a wife, who knows? They adopted Atreisha, or maybe she got pregnant by somebody else. Kratisha, that's what I'm Isha in it. Anyway, Kratosh. Anyway, somebody needs to make that mod. Anyway, on PC, because it's coming out, so do that. God of War Ragnarok, female Kratos, let's go. Anyway, PC gamers don't play that. They don't play that. They don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. They don't do none of that. So Sony's trying to tap into that market, but they don't know what they're doing. They are doing it wrong. As you saw with Hellblade. I keep saying Hellblade instead of Helldivers. Helldivers 2, that debacle. Now they're going to be like, the requirement on launch, you got to sign a PSN. Know what's going to happen? Nobody's going to buy that. Nobody's going to buy that game, or they're going to pirate it. So they don't have to sign on no stupid PSN. Maybe. It's a dumb requirement. And it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them sales, period. And they know this. They're not idiots. They know this, but they have to think to themselves, okay, what's the percentage of sales that we will lose because of this policy, and what are we willing to lose? What's okay to lose in order to gain subs, blah, 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 whatever, right? So part of the business, figuring out, what's an acceptable loss in that situation. But, they have to find a different way to make that seamless. Like, sign into PSN with your Steam, and then the Steam credentials transfer to the PSN. And so it uses Steam credentials to create a PSN account. Maybe that's it. It's just a one button and then boom, you're done. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, I'm not trying to give them ideas. They got to figure that out for themselves. Anyway, everything was multi-plat. Everything was multi-plat except for Astrobot. Now I watched Astrobot, and I was listening to Giant Bomb talk over it. I was listening to a couple of everybody else. Everybody's cool with Astrobot. It's like, yo, Astrobot's cool. Dirt's like, yo, I might buy Astrobot, but everything, I'm not gonna buy none of that stuff. I'm like, I looked at all those games, and some of them look kind of interesting, but I'm like, it's dark and brooding, and there's fire sparkles and stuff. I'm like, you're showing me gameplay, right? Here's the problem. Here's another problem with that state of play. Once again, expectations. That's why everybody was disappointed. Everybody said this is dog poo-poo, trash, all that stuff. Everybody was saying that. Because the expectations were Uncharted 5 or, The Last of Us 3 or, those caliber of games. And that's not what happened. They got a bunch of games of service games, a couple of VR games, which nobody cared, and a bunch of, Souls-likes, and some goofy anime game that, I don't know, and there's Dynasty Warriors Origins, I think it was called. And that one looked like a Dynasty Warriors game. And I was looking at it, I was like, it's so close to being like, yo, that's next gen. Like, one shot I saw was like, and the camera angle was just right. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the rest of it was like, it's freaking Dynasty Warriors. What are you doing? I would say the only other highlight in that, besides Astrobot, was Monster Hunter Wild. And Monster Hunter has always had like cool, the World and Wild. And I never played the the last one, which I totally forgot the name. And their monster animation has always been kind of cool, and the design as well. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. I played Monster Hunter World a little bit. I didn't get into it that much, but I was like, all right, whatever. I mean, this ain't my type of game, but it's okay, sure. And that one looked pretty cool. Capcom's been on a winning streak for years now, so it's pretty hard for them to fall flat unless they figured it out. Let's just say that they figured it out. Sony has not figured it out. They don't know what the hell they doing. And I keep saying it's like a lot of people are saying it too. Like Chaos Lounge is like, yo, Sony's lost. They don't know what they're doing. They had 12 games of service. They cut 6, and the ones they're putting out, I mean, Helldivers 2, meh. It's not doing what it needs to do. If Helldivers 2 was like a Fortnite success, they wouldn't need to put up any other game. And here's another thing I don't think they realize is that they're going into a market that's already kind of saturated, right? So you got, hero shooters already saturated. And like I said again, they put the Marvel hero shooter in the same look. You put them side by side, who's going to shoot? I saw Spider-Man swinging in there. I was like, I will play that 10 times over before I touch Concord. How you going to give me Spider-Man swinging and a Marvel hero shooter swinging, trying to throw it against like Magneto and Wolverine? Dude, you can have Hulk versus Wolverine, and you can have such a cool, like, you could do Hulk versus Wolverine, Spider-Man versus Venom, all the rivalries in the Marvel universe all on teams, and that would be crazy dope. I would watch a stream of that. I was like, yo, let's watch. This is like the total Marvel, not even a mashup. It's the Marvel versus Marvel, and it's like I said, Spider-Man. It could be Spider-Man versus Green Goblin. Really, it's Hobgoblin. It's great. I guess Green Goblin was one of his nemesis. Huh. I mean, I guess the movies have kind of twisted my brain on that. I really did like the Venom stuff when they did it in the comics originally. But anyway, there's so many just likable things about the Marvel universe versus who are these people in Concord? Like who's that? Who's the yellow guy? Whatever. Anyway, yeah, there's so many things wrong with that. Just that the methodology or the thinking behind. Yeah, let's put Concord first, and so we'll put Marvel way in the middle so they forget about it. Like, no, they're not gonna forget. They're both hero shooters, and then you got all these Souls-like games to get. I'm like, I conflate. I mixed up like 3 of them. I was like, wait, is that the one with the kid on the backpack kid? Is that? It wasn't a kid with a backpack. It was a dude carrying a kid in the backpack, and he's Souls-like in it. Oh, I'm like, how you gonna be fighting with a kid? He don't even have a helmet on or nothing, no goggles, no protective gear. He's just chilling with like his cardigan. I don't know what shirt he had on. He's like that in the knapsack, and I guess he's doing the touchy thing. Like, I guess it's magic. I don't know. And dude's like, what? You back? You all right? Hold on there, Junior. I don't know what the story is. I mean, that's one of the ones I remember because the kid was in the knapsack. I was like, okay, that's weird. It wasn't the best one. Like when the WW meet Wow Wins meet or West Wins Wallop, whatever that one was, I was like, okay, I guess the graphics are okay. I don't remember. And there was another one that looked cool, but I was like, I don't even remember the name of it. And they all looked the same. They were all dark, Souls-like. I'm like, y'all. It was like Concord, God of War Blur, Monster Hunter, the anime. Oh yeah, I forgot the Silent Hill. Let's just skip over that. That's Amnesia, because I'm gonna forget it, because nobody cares. And then Monster Hunter, and then Astrobot. Let's think about Astrobot. Astrobot looked cool. I think Asobi is probably one of Sony's better studios right now for what Sony needs. Not so much to make the games that Sony's known for, but to change the direction and change the mentality of their fan base, of the ponies and the donkey unicorns, to realize that a game like Astrobot is a viable, giant, big, huge, successful game. It's fun. It looks cool. It looks like it's a bunch of fun. It looks like a bunch of creative brains put it together and say, yo, what if he turns into a giant PS5 and then he's a spaceship? And you notice, which is hilarious, how big it is on the screen. Like the PS5 takes up like almost half the screen. I'm like, damn. I mean, that's accurate. Let's be real. PS5 is a big BI. So I was like, that's pretty funny. Even if it's like non-intentional, you're like, why is it so big? It looks big on the screen. Like when you see it, you see his eyes and he's flying. It's like most of the screen. And then they show the back of you, and I guess he's flying and shoots. I guess it's a shooting level or whatever. It's most of the screen. I'm like, okay, you know what? I give him props for making that subtle joke that nobody caught on to. But it's like, okay, that's funny. It's funny to me anyway. Maybe it wasn't subtle. Or maybe it wasn't intentional, but accurate. Anyway, yeah. What they say, 80 levels on 7 planets or something like that? Or 80 missions on 7? I forgot what they said. But, I mean, there's some short missions. So, you know, it's not like it's going to be a super duper 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 long game. But they showed enough as to like, okay, that's a pretty chunky game. So, is it going to be $70? Who knows? Who cares? Doesn't matter at this point. At least they got one game that's pretty much okay. And it'll come to PC eventually because, you know, they need to make that money. Oh, man. Yeah, this is the L. If I were to score it, let's see. Letter grade, give it a D+. Number grade, what's D+? A 60. I'll give it a 69. Nope, they don't get a 69. I get it a 66. Actually, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is what people are saying. That's what matters. And it's hilarious to me that all these donkey unicorns and ponies are disappointed, upset, this is trash, dog poo poo, and all that good stuff. And it's music to my ears. It's like, yo, I told y'all Sony didn't know what they were doing. I told y'all are trained to like a certain type of game, and Sony is not making those as much because they don't make no money. So this is what happens. They want The Last of Us 2, they get Astrobot, which isn't a bad trade-off, but for their expectation, it is. You know, they wanted an Uncharted 5, they got Concord. And Concord was the most disappointing, I think, because we didn't know what it was, and then they showed that trailer. It was like a 12-minute trailer in the beginning or something. It was long. And then, I don't think it was 12. And then they showed the gameplay. I was like, anyway, I'm going rambling, man. I appreciate y'all hanging on the channel, man. Like and subscribe. I know y'all already started commenting on the state of play in the last video, but let's go in deep with this video. Comment what y'all thought about all the different games. You could talk about any of the games if you want. It's all good. You know, what's your hype level on Astrobot? Because that seems to be like the one darling. And how disappointed were you in Concord and all that stuff? And yeah, I'm not gonna say will you play it, but like, are you interested, or do you think it looks kind of cool or whatever? You know, you playing it or not I would play it. I would try it out, maybe just to see how bad it is. I just kidding. But anyway, appreciate you. Like and subscribe, and yeah, state of play. I'm sorry, that's so bad, but I'll talk to y'all on the next one.